Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really good in the current situation. I know it's hard to actually think, how can I be doing good? But it's all about a matter of mindset. And I want to be going live just to tell you now how you can actually boost your immune system. If you understand what actually goes on within your body, if you understand how your body works, and if you understand what minimal things you can do consistently to move yourself forward, we can actually not just go into this period as a matter of maintenance, but we can actually come out as a healthier individual. Because so many different stories are coming out on the news, and so many different confusing methods and confusing arguments and confusing strategies are coming out on the news. And we need to understand something, that the job of the news is to sell and to make money. News is big business, especially right now. And a lot of people are getting more and more fearful because of all the things that are going on in the news. Now, I know and I understand that the virus that is happening right now, the coronavirus, is a thing. I'm not going to try and deny that or anything like that. And we could all get it, no matter how strong your immune function is. However, as fearful as we are, as scary as that sounds, as good as your immune system depends on how the health of your immune system and the strength of your immune system depends on how your body reacts if you do get it. And you may then be asymptomatic and not actually see any symptoms. But if your immune system is ridiculously low and we are stressed out and getting more and more stressed out from what we see every single day on social media, on the news and all these different things, then our immune function is going to get lower and lower. So I've got some notes here on my iPad, and I want to make sure that I go through the different points. So it might go on for a little bit, but I want to go through the different points that I've noted that is going on in our body, how we can actually get through this situation, if not getting worse. Because I think I want you to understand this, that we're all in this situation together, and there's a potential of doom and gloom here. Gyms are going to be closing, stores are going to be closing. We're not going to be able to go to the cinema and do these all social activities. But how do you want to come out of this situation? Now, it is going to last for a long while, but the social isolation, the quarantine side of things, how do you want to come out at the end of this situation, no matter how long it lasts? Do you want to be less healthy than you are now? If you had a few pounds to lose at the start of this, do you want to have more weight to lose than you do now? Or do you want to potentially be healthier, or be at least in the same position that you are now, so you don't have that extra 10, 15, 20 pounds? Because I see memes going on, and as funny as it seems that day 3 of self-quarantine and I've already eaten all my snacks for the month and all these different things. Hannah, hey, I hope you're doing good. Stephen, I hope you're doing good. We see these memes coming out and yes, we like to make a joke of it. Humor is a way of coping. It's a coping mechanism. A lot of people are going to be laughing. A lot of people are going to be trying to make humor out of it. It is a coping mechanism. And I've seen that in many different situations. I've done that myself, laughed about a situation because I've been scared of it. Have I been hit by this already? Yes, I have. I've had a couple of clients leave me. And I know that even though I don't do face-to-face personal training, I've also been told that I'm profiting off of this by launching a home workout program. I'm actually helping people with their health and their immune system. If you think that's profiting off of it, I'm actually giving people what people need. So if you don't like that, please unfriend me, because the home workouts are going to be awesome to help you increase your health. The immune training I'm going to be doing is going to be awesome to help you improve your health and to be able to not just survive but thrive at this time. The first thing we see that comes through is that our stress levels, stress that is already significantly high in the economy that we live in the society that we live in, this stress is stupidly high. We are stressing ourselves out with financial situations, relationships, with smoking, with drugs, with alcohol, with our actual business side of things. All these different things are high, not just in the clientele that I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, but in the general population. Now, given that a lot of people are having to stop work where they're actually working and going into work, getting out of their house, if you are an individual who likes social interaction and you're used to going out and you live on your own and now you're being forced into your house, it can be ridiculously stressful for you. So how do we lower that stress? And also, if you're like me, you're an introvert, okay, living on my own isn't as bad because being that introvert, but if you are the person that doesn't like the social interaction and you're used to working at home and now you've all of a sudden got all these people coming in that are your family that you're used to having in the evening and you got them through the day, that could be stressful for someone who's an introvert as well. So it's looking at it on both sides. There are different sides to every story. And then what happens as well, when you're at home, you're technically in your comfort zone. And if you're being forced to work from home, there can be added stress because the temptation is there that isn't usually there when you're in the office. And you go to grab a cup of tea, you go to grab whatever it is you go to grab, maybe a bottle of Corona, you go to grab whatever it is you go to grab, and there's always a biscuit there, there's a cookie there, there's some chips there, there's some crisps, there's whatever it is there, so you end up eating more calories. Not only that, the movement that you used to go by actually going to work, going to the office, just walking to the bus stop or walking from the car park, all these different things, that movement has got lower as well. So as you are actually working from home, you've increased your caloric intake, but you've actually decreased your caloric outtake. So you're eating more calories now, but expending less calories. Now, I really hope that the gyms around you are actually still staying open and you don't have to work out from home. Richard has just come on, who's running a great gym here called Fully Pumped, and really hope that for small businesses around here, that people aren't scared to not go to the gym because there's a lot of measures. Whilst they're still open, make the most of it. Just stay safe with cleaning and all these different things. And if you have an underlying health condition, maybe we pull away there. And the choice is always going to be down to the individual. Personally, I'm not going to stop going unless they close the doors. But lowering the stress is going to be one of the key things. And we need to be mindful of what is going on in our mind. Are we feeding into some of the things which might be BS? There might be conspiracy theories, but it's certainly a thing going on. But are we diving in too deep? You see, yesterday I had a message from my mum who said to me, have you got enough inhalers in? And I texted her and said, I haven't had asthma for 5 years. I haven't had an appointment for asthma for 5 years. I haven't had an inhaler for 5 years. All boosting my own immune function and helping my own body and my cellular function has allowed me to get rid of that asthma. But asthmatics are still one of these people that are in the at-risk population. However, when we look at things like travel, all these different things that travel shouldn't be going on and all these things going on, non-necessary travel. So you shouldn't really be going and see your gran that lives in the next country or something like that, all these different things. Now, what are the basics we can do? The basics we can do is just the first thing being breathing. A lot of people in this world breathe through their mouth a lot more than any other place than their nose. So breathing through your nose actually adds a kind of filtration system that a lot of people neglect and they don't use enough. And with the virus being transmitted more through water than anything else, through air like moisture, then breathing through your nose is potentially going to help this a lot more. This is not to say, again, that you're not going to get it, but it can help you with lowering stress, getting some of the other crap that's in the air out, diesel fumes and all these different things which impact detoxification in your body. It can help you by actually making sure we don't get as much of that in. So simply just breathing through your nose. If you're driving in your car, breathe through your nose. Yes, if you're doing exercise, you're going to be breathing through your mouth and all these different things. And I think that's going to be crucial. Looking at the situation that we're in every single day, in every single part of the day, that people are saying that we can't go to the gym and everything like that. We're saying that we can't go outside, but you can still run, you can still cycle, you can still walk, you can still move. And that moves on to the next point when it comes to food. Now, around here, where I live in Norwich, I went to Sainsbury's this morning and it was like an apocalypse had hit. There were no rice cakes and no ketchup. Now I was getting a bit serious about this. Now, they're saying there are going to be limits put in place, which is great. And they are looking at having the elderly and the people that are more vulnerable able to use the stores first thing over here, which, again, I totally agree with. And the same with delivery slots. Again, totally agree with. But what I've noticed with the general population, with people that I've worked with over the years, is that the first thing that goes low is your protein levels. Now, protein levels, we have 3 different types of amino acid. Believe it or not, amino acids are basically the single strands of the protein that your entire body is built upon. Now, we have essential amino acids and we have non-essential amino acids. Now, essential amino acids and non-essential is what can we get from our food and what do we produce ourselves. So essential, we need to get them from our food. Non-essential, the body will actually create these on their own. Now, if your stress levels are through the roof, which a lot of people's are high enough anyway in your fight or flight mode anyway, if your stress levels are through the roof, those non-essential amino acids then become conditional amino acids, which means our body will stop producing these and we need to get them from food. So I would really look at getting your protein levels in. Get a good amount of protein. Now, I'm not going to advise a certain point. There's magic numbers that get thrown away, blanket numbers for every population every single day. But get your protein as a priority. Get food in multiple times a day. Look at your overall caloric expenditure and get protein as a priority. Good organic meat, grass-fed beef, all these different things, depending on if you've watched the Game Changers documentary or not and actually fed into that. But you probably won't be this far into this. If you've fallen for the Game Changers documentary, you would have switched off right now. But get your protein levels up. And that, again, moving on to the next point, your blood glucose levels. Now, your body, believe it or not, needs sugar, needs glucose in order to function. Glucose goes into the blood. That then gets changed into glycogen and stored in the muscles, in the liver, and also fuels your brain as well. The glucose will fuel your brain. However, too much of this in the blood will stop your body, your pancreas, being able to effectively produce insulin to shuttle this into the cells that we need it to go to. So people stockpiling pasta, stockpiling bread and freezing it, and all these carbohydrate processed items, which is one of the things which spikes your blood sugar levels, is going to be pretty detrimental when it comes to lowering your stress levels. So how can we manage our blood glucose levels? Now, with blood glucose, if it goes high, our body then has to shuttle insulin to then pull it into the cells to go low again, or to get it back to where we want it to. Trouble is, if it's gone high, we then get very overly active blood glucose throughout the day, up and down, which can lead to hunger. It can lead to low energy, low focus, just problems when it comes to your health, pre-diabetes and all these different things, and lack of sleep as well. So how can we manage it? We can focus on protein, we can focus on breathing, we can lower our stress levels, and we can actually eat real food. As much as, I mean, when I went into Sainsbury's today, there was like 1 frozen bag of cauliflower. So actually having to get fresh food, yes, you'll have to brave the stores quite regularly, but getting your fresh fruit and vegetables in, getting your green leafy vegetables in, getting your colourful veg is going to get all your vitamins and nutrient needs in. Getting your cruciferous veg like cauliflower is going to help with taking things out of the body that we don't want in there in your detoxification process. They're going to really help you at this point. Then we look at sleep. Sleep is one of the biggest risk factors for your immune system getting lower. And that is because we have a natural circadian rhythm, a time when we're supposed to wake up and a time when we're going to sleep. However, in the day and age we live in, even without the stressful period we're in right now, we are not really appreciating that circadian rhythm, not really respecting it. We are waking up before sunrise and we are sleeping very much after the sun is set. We are fueling our body with a lot of blue light coming from technology, stimulants, and actually just not relaxing and chilling out. Now, I've gone through so many different methods of improving your sleep. What is your nighttime routine? What is your morning routine? Are you the sort of person that needs to have caffeine in the morning? Are we not sleeping during the night, waking up every 3-4 hours to go to the toilet? All these different things. If you are waking up during the night, chances are you have low clearance of stress hormones. cortisol, adrenaline, epinephrine, norepinephrine, all these different things, you have low clearance of that. So I would watch out when you're having caffeine, because if we're waking up with caffeine and screwing our circadian rhythm up to a degree, when are we having it? Now, caffeine has a half-life of around 5-6 hours. That means if you have a cup of coffee which has 200 milligrams of caffeine at 4 p.m. or 3 p.m., at 8-9 p.m. at night, you've still got 100 milligrams, so half a cup of coffee in your system. 5 hours after that, you've got 50 milligrams. You see where this is going as to why it impacts your sleep. And ladies, if you are on the contraceptive pill or anything like that, most pills, depending on the manufacturer and depending on the chemical makeup, will actually increase that half-life to double. So at 12 p.m. noon, you would still have 10 p.m. you would still have half of that caffeine in your system. And that is what we really need to make sure we are doing, is not having false energy, not functioning on stimulants. Get the protein levels in, manage your blood glucose levels in, be aware of your sleep levels, and not functioning on stimulants. That moves on to the lymphatic system. Now, we've heard different things of lymph drainage, and basically the lymphatic system is what is going to get rid of pathogens that are in your system, something that could do damage to your system. And that will lead, like, if you've ever had a viral infection or something like that, and you've had swollen lymph nodes and all these different things, and basically what happens is your body gets, the virus gets passed through your lymphatic system and then gets dealt with on the nodes, and then it's processed, broken down, and all these different things. Now, if the lymphatic system is not functioning well, if there's bad flow throughout, you live a sedentary lifestyle, then this isn't going to be able to function effectively. Now, how can we improve this? We can contract our muscles. I'm not just going to say there and go flex and all this sort of crap or anything like that, but working out is going to help you with your lymphatic system and lymphatic drainage. Massages, it might not be as good, but there are some great therapists around, especially where I live. You can go and have massages. You can get movement as well. No one's going to stop you from walking around, from going for a run and helping your lymphatic drainage. Saunas and stuff like this can help with detoxification and drainage, but I would just look at, can you still exercise? And the answer to that is always yes. You do not need to have equipment to exercise. If your gym is still open, go to your gym if you don't have an underlying condition. And as I said, I personally will, as long as they are staying open. And move. Treat your lymphatic system with respect. Now, moving on to the next part, we've touched on protein. We've said about blood glucose and why people having all this pasta and all these different high carbohydrate foods and a lot of processed foods as well, then it's actually going to be detrimental to your health at any time, let alone in a higher stress period. So getting real single ingredient foods, as I've said about getting those green leafy vegetables, your colourful vegetables, your cruciferous vegetables in there, to make sure you do have plenty of nutrients going in and into the system. Now, if we just bombard it with starchy carbohydrates whilst lowering our actual energy expenditure, we're going to screw around with our blood glucose levels. We don't want to go very low carb. Definitely don't want to go very low carb. Now, if we look at like females, for example, going low carb, going on the ketogenic diet and all these sorts of things, they actually potentially could increase cortisol that way. And same with guys, but not as impactful. So it's definitely something we don't want to look at doing. So we want to get the real foods in there, your green veg, your coloured veg, your cruciferous vegetables, and we want to make sure we're hydrated. Now, unfortunately, pretty much anywhere, unless you live in a natural spring, and even then I would still filter it because of toxins and stuff like that in the water and potential problems that could go on in your system. Now, we want to get hydration. And to do that, I would look at filtering your tap water. So buy like a Brita water filter, all these sorts of things. Yes, we can end up spending loads of money on filters and go very expensive. But right now, if you've had a little bit of a budget cut, just get a Brita water filter and make sure all your water is through that. And then as long as you've got no underlying kidney problems, pinch of pink Himalayan rock salt, chuck it in there, and it can help you with cellular function, with getting your nutrients and micronutrients into the body. We want to lower your inflammation. Now, there's more infections and cellular dysfunction when it comes to higher fear. It's all been linked with fear, anxiety, depression, and it will lower the immune function. Now, something that I haven't done in the past is take note of the news. I've been a little bit more mindful of it because it's just been everywhere on social media. Hell, Lad Bible is even going live when it comes to Boris Johnson's speech. So society isn't helping with your information, with your stress levels right now. But what can you control? Because I can't control what my neighbour is doing. I can't control what the person opposite me is doing. I can't even control what my dogs are doing. Okay, they're in their crates now, so technically it's a little bit of control. I can't control whether the gyms stay open or not. I can't control the stock levels in the supermarket. I can't control the curfew times. I can't control the quarantine, all these different things. But what I can control is what I've been through. I can control my perception to stress. I can control the food that goes into my body. I can control when I go to sleep. I can control when I switch off. I can control if I go out for a walk. I can control whether I exercise regardless of if the gym is open. I can control so many different things, which will keep me lowering my sense of fear, and it will also keep me from lowering, or it will make sure my inflammation in my body and the chance of infection, of cellular degeneration is lowered. Now, going on to the food side of things as well, that can also cause problems within your body. If your body is not liking it, if you're one of these people that gets bloated when eating pasta and eating bread, don't eat pasta and bread. There's plenty of other stuff. In the US as well, there's a lot more highly refined fats in the diet, trans fats, because there's a lot less restrictions than over here in, we're not in the EU anymore, but technically in the EU, there's a lot less restrictions in the US, and that can also have a bit of an issue. There's something called leaky gut, which is basically when the cells in your gut will split apart a little bit over years of stress, and this is taking so much science out of it. Split apart and leave leaky places, holes in your gut lining, and toxins, crap, food, will also get into it. Now, we don't want food to go directly into it. If we ingest a pizza or a hamburger or Doritos or nachos, whatever you want to call, it goes into your system. It's technically still outside your body, and then the stomach and the digestive system breaks it down. It passes through and in its vital forms, in the smallest forms. You don't have Doritos going floating around your blood or a slice of pizza floating around your blood. It then gets broken down. Now, when leaky gut happens, this gut opens up and we get more toxins into our blood, which is seen as a foreign object by the immune system. Now, this foreign object is then kind of like, nah, I don't need to do it. Say someone's gone to a force field on Star Wars, we then get pew, 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 like that. Pew, 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 pew. We then get our immune function, our immune system then attacking it. Our body cells attacking itself, essentially. Again, a lot of science taken out with it there, but I want to just keep this skimming the surface, and that is what leads to autoimmune disease. So lowering the stress, lowering highly refined fats, biscuits and trans fats and stuff like that, and also then going on to the next part. And a lot of people are going to be using this as a bit of a coping mechanism right now. Alcohol. I don't like the taste of alcohol, so I'm kind of a lucky one, but I know a lot of people do like the taste. And it's actually realizing, am I fueling myself with alcohol because it's a sedative? Am I fueling myself with this to get away from things, which you then have 1 or 2 glasses of wine during the week, every weeknight, and then you have half a bottle on Saturday, half a bottle on Sunday, and you end up binge drinking. Now, alcohol is broken down in the body to an aldehyde, okay? Many people do not break this down effectively, which is actually toxic in the body. And it then has loads of things going on in your brain with your prefrontal cortex, your amygdala, which regulates fear, regulates short and long-term memory, all these different things. Again, we're not going into the depth of it, but essentially it helps sedate your brain, which people think is a good thing because it helps them sleep. However, we do not then get the restorative levels of sleep that we could do if we went to sleep naturally without that going on. So alcohol, are you using it as a sedative, which it is? Are you using it because you're stressed out and trying to hide from something underlying? Are you enjoying it? If so, do you need it in there? Especially right now where people are perceiving the times to be a lot more stressful. then should we be having alcohol in there? Again, the stress management side of things and being sedentary. Also look at what is your health history right now. Because all these things can add up and pile on top. We have different stress stackers that would impact people in different ways. Stress essentially is a matter of perception and how we perceive it as an individual. Two people could go on a roller coaster. I hate roller coasters. They stress me out. We're not supposed to be going upside down. Some people, it's de-stressing. Now, look at how our perception of stress is and what is our past history. If you've been sick a lot in the past with viral infections and things like that, then that's a sign that potentially your immune system is a little bit lower than normal. So if you've been sick a lot more, have a look at the things even more in depth that I've looked at. Managing your blood glucose, getting your processed foods down, getting your protein levels up, getting your good vegetables in there, your cruciferous vegetables, your fibrous vegetables, your green leafy vegetables, your colourful vegetables. And now, we want to look at this in a different form, and this is going into a little bit different sort of depth here. We want our cells to work functionally. Now, in order to do this, that will help our boosting our immune function. Now, when it comes to the medical system, they usually look at the body and then fix the system that is actually going on. So going into the lungs right now, they look at fixing the lungs. However, our body will start in a cell. And we have trillions of cells in the body. Our body will start in a cell and then move into tissues, which will be in the lungs and things like that. Those tissues will then make up an organ, the lungs. Those lungs will make up a system, your respiratory system. And then from there, we have the human body. But the system, the respiratory system, is what the medical system is looking at. But if we can go back to the cellular function, which I do with a lot of my clients, as to why we're actually relying on stimulants, why we're relying on so many processed foods and refined sugars and all these different things, why our body is craving that, and go into cellular function. How hydrated is your cell? When we look at the mitochondria in the cell and different organelles in the cell, which there's like 12 or 13, I believe, something like that, organelles, so mitochondria being one of them, how well is that functioning? And all these different things I've spoken about will lead to helping your cells function better. We can get our cells functioning better. Now, they're going to mean that your immune system gets boosted. If we have trillions of cells in our body and one cell becomes dysfunctional, which leads to 2, 4, 6, 8, so on, like this virus has doubled in size, they said something like every 2 days, something like that. Those cellular dysfunctions are then going to make your tissues dysfunction, which are then going to make your organs dysfunction, which is then going to make your systems dysfunctional and your body. Now, one of the things which is in the population that is very, very low with many people are your zinc levels. And that is actually responsible for pretty much every enzymatic function in the body. So if we can get our zinc levels up, now that moves on to the next thing. When we look at cells, when we look at how do we piece this puzzle together. Now, we can go into supplements, but I want to get it clear is that unless we've been doing a lot of the things that I've spoken about, unless we've been focusing on our stress management, on our sleep, on our hydration, on our nutrition, adding these supplements, it's just going to be a plaster, a band-aid on the problem and not going to fix those underlying cautions. We take those supplements away, they're just going to be the problem again. So we need to look at what is the underlying problem that is going on. We can fix those foundations. You don't build a skyscraper on crappy foundations, it falls down. And we want to focus on those foundations. So yes, we can look at supplementation. Can we get the right levels of vitamin D and K? Can we get good levels of vitamin C? Can we get a good bionutrient in there? And a lot of these supplements that get sold in off the shelf aren't going to be up to the quality. So I would look at brands like Seeking Health. I would look at brands like Pure Encapsulations. I would look at Fawn and Energetics. They're some of the things which I would look at with clients. But having like selenium, manganese, zinc, potassium, these sorts of things, along with a bionutrient, potentially looking at things like glutathione and stuff like that. But again, none of these things are going to be effective long term unless we're looking at the underlying issues. And I think that is where we need to get clear on that. We can 100% absolutely be healthier and improve our health over this time. We can, if we focus on these foundations. And that is the key point. Remember what I said at the start of this. How do you want to come out of this period of time, of this hurdle that we have to jump over? How do you want to come out of it? Because you're going in at a certain level of your health. And we have three options. One, we can not give a shit about our health. We can think, oh, I've got a few pounds to lose. Come out of it, eating all the crap, feeling low, feeling less energy, feeling less focused, having less health, having more bloat and having more weight gain and fat gain, less self-confidence, less sex drive and all these different things. We can have less of that when we come out of it because we don't care about our health. But I'm sure that if you're watching right now, you probably care about your health. I would like to think you have some self-worth to care about your health. Now, what can we do as a result? We can actually either just look at maintaining our health, and that goes with certain goals. If you need to do a powerlifting competition and you haven't got the equipment and you need a certain equipment, that's a bit vague with that, then how are you going to improve your strength? Now, we're looking at the general population we can maintain, but why the hell don't we use this time to improve our health? Chances are people have got a little bit more time right now. So we can prepare our food a little bit more. We can get hydrated a little bit more. If you're spending more time with the family, why are you going to do things that make your family decrease their health and their immune function as well? That's kind of selfish with that. So we absolutely want to be able to come out of this situation healthier than when we went in. We can absolutely do that. Focus on exercise, the things I've gone through in this. So we've got lowering stress, breathing through your nose, getting your protein levels up, managing your blood glucose levels, your sleep, not functioning on stimulants, sorting out your lymphatic system, getting the real foods and hydration levels in, lower your technology around bed, lower your inflammation and any potential underlying infections or cellular damage that is going on in there. Stop having so many refined fats. Don't live your life on alcohol. It can be easy to do that right now because people are stressed, and that's one of the sedatives in life. Stop being so sedentary. If you've got previous problems in the past of your health, we really need to focus on this now and look at your body, not from a systematic point of view, but from a cellular point of view. How can we improve cellular function right now? And where potentially can we improve our supplementation plan? Now, as always, I'm here, and hopefully you've taken some of this for your health and you're actually going to implement this. The problem is, when we have a 99-1 rule, my friend Jamie Alderton actually said about this, that 90% of you guys are going to do nothing about this. You're going to be just as scared as when you started watching this video, and to be honest, it's probably wasted your time. 9% of you people are actually going to do some things that I've said in this, and great, go ahead, do some of those things. There's 1% of these people that have actually watched this video right now, and I appreciate all of you watching it. Only 1% of these people are going to do the things that are going to make the biggest impact to their life right now. But if you're on that 9% or even the 1% and you need some extra help with that, drop me a message, because right now I'm looking at working with more people right now. I'm not going to put a number on or anything like that. My time is here for you guys. I'm going to be doing home workouts, all these different things, building an Amazon shopping list to allow you to actually get healthier at this moment of high stress in the world, depending on your perception. And we can do that together. So drop me a message and we can work out what me working with you guys looks like, because I appreciate the financial situation for some people has changed right now. And if that's the case, still reach out and drop me a message and we can work out. I'm not going to take the piss out of my existing clients and offer you exactly what they've got for half the price. That is not what I do. Okay? So give me a shout if you need any help. Guys, thank you for watching this. Chris, that has actually meant so much for you putting that comment on saying glad found the video. Rachel, thanks for watching it. Who else has been on here? Chris, Ben Hazeldine, hope you're doing good over there. Nate, John, hope things are all good over there. You're in Lancaster with Scott. So Seamus as well. Mark, God, there's been so many people just messaging on here, on Instagram as well. And guys, thank you for watching this. If you need help, drop me a message. If you have questions, I'm more than happy to answer your questions, whether I do that in a live, whether I do it on a voice note in Messenger, just message me. I'm here to help you guys. But look, this isn't about scare tactics. One of the things that is going to help you more than ever is improving your health and taking ownership right now. If you need help with that, I'm here. Drop me a message. But for now, bloody hell, I need a drink because I've got a dry mouth. On that note, guys, have a good day and I will speak to you soon.